Welcome to Game Pass News, recorded Thursday, February 22nd. This is Nick from Game Pass News. I'm with my co host Sean. We are going to be talking about all kinds of things. Acquisition Watch. We got some Halo stuff. We're going to be talking about perky things. I don't know, all kinds of craziness. So I can't wait to get into this. But before we jump into the top stories and all the fun of all that jazz, how you been, Sean?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. You know, Lindsay's out of isolation, which is nice because there's now two
Yay.
parents. Uh, we do have some worries that she might be suffering from a little bit of long COVID.
Mm.
I'm meaning to message SAZ back because he kind of passed on his regards after listening to last week's podcast and wish that everybody was well. So thanks very much for that. But yeah, other than that, man, it's been pretty good. I finally you know, beat a game for this year, which we'll talk
Hey!
about later. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's pretty sound. How about you?
Yeah, well, you didn't just beat a game, you beat like a huge game, so we'll be talking about that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm over here beating I don't know, I can't think of one that I beat, but small ones like Far Sale. But you really took it on. It has been. Okay, well, I wasn't ready, wasn't prepared for that. Sorry. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Sean. We really appreciate that. That's what that was for podcast listeners. So yeah, it's been a good week. The last couple of days here in Michigan, it's been 55 degrees ish. So for us, it's like the first glimmer out of the deep freeze of winter. And it is like the funniest thing. I absolutely love it because like the moment it turns to 50 for that first time after like 3-4 months of total deep freeze, people are out in bathing suits. They're out in like shorts and t-shirts like it's 70 degrees. But people are so excited that there's some amount of warmth in the air that they just go crazy. I was driving by down Main Street. There's like three people walking like it's 70 degrees. They were just in t-shirts and shorts and flip flops. I think it's hilarious. So absolutely love it.
It's,
Makes me laugh.
the weather in here. You probably saw Frosticles chuck stuff in the Discord about the wind. Like he had it pretty bad down there. He lost like roof tiles on his house and stuff.
Yeah.
We've had three storms back to back. I think the last one being Franklin, and it's torn my fence. Literally snapped the fence posts at the concrete at the ground level. So I've got that to work on at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. You sent me that picture. That looked nuts. I yeah, but I did get in on the glimmer of spring fun, and I grilled an absolute crap ton of meat. Like I got a pork loin and a bunch of chicken breast, and I just threw it all on the grill. So I'm somewhat in a meat coma. I think I've had a chicken breast and probably too much pork, and that's all I did. Like I just piled my plate with like grilled meat and just ate that for supper. So there you go. That's what it's like here in Michigan right now.
Nice. So, quick shout out to the people in live chat. So, hello, Episol, and hey, Mr. Hambo and Johnny. It's good to see you this evening. Hope you're all well.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We really appreciate it. We're gonna jump into top stories. So just a couple of things. It's not a super busy week, although we did just get a story that popped up in our feed, which will be fun to chat about. But first off, I wanted to. We Game Pass has perks, right? And we don't always do the best. One, because we kind of forget about them, out of sight, out of mind. But two, also because there's like a literal crap ton of perks. I mean, it took me 3 tweets stringed together to get all the perks that are currently available in Game Pass. And so I wanted to kind of just do like a quick perk watch. We will lay them all out in on Twitter. So if you're interested in what they might be, you can go to our Twitter. We'll do that on a weekly basis. That's kind of my plan now. Anything that's changed or anything that's new, we'll update you on. But we won't talk about them here because it's be really boring if we just like read aloud 25 different perks and what they all did. I will say though, real quick, you can get Discord Nitro. Help out the Nintendo dads. You get Discord Nitro. You sign up for that. You boost their server. They'll be at level 3 if like 2 more people do that. I just did that today. There's a
Yeah,
spot.
that's. I need to look into that. because I tried to. I think I've done it, but I think I also pay for Nitro, so I think I get so many every time. Um, so yeah, that
I
might be
can
something I have to look into.
I can maybe walk you through that. I had to Discord Tim because I don't know. I feel like it's a little shady what they how they go about doing that. When I signed up for Nitro and then I clicked on the thing and it immediately was like you should pay and you can boost this server and I was like wait no, I have 2 free. What's going on? So anyways, it was confusing. There's also Spotify and then there's also a Hulu. That'll be the last one I mention because they're kind of universal. A lot of people have those. Although the Hulu is only for new users. Is that not the shittiest deal in the world? I hate that. It's like, hey, if you've
Yeah,
subscribed to this service, screw you. But if you're new, sure, here's a deal. I hate that. It's like cable. It's horrible. Anyways,
yeah. I mean, there is a bunch of other things on there. There's like I think I've mentioned them in a previous podcasts when I think it's stuff that's been interesting, but usually they're just weapon skins and bits and pieces like that.
yeah,
So
no, that's true. That is very true. So that's Perk Watch. I wanted to know what you thought of this, Sean. This was very interesting to me. Um, Halo live action show coming up here pretty soon. Will show Master Chief's face.
you see, are they going to do it? Are they going to give an actual face
Yeah, apparently
to
they are.
Xbox? Because he is the he. Whenever I think of Halo, and I mean, you could even claim this, they've got the Easter eggs hidden inside the actual Series X console where they've got the Master Chief's like helmet and everything. He is the avatar for Xbox, like gaming.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if they give that man a face, it's just I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either. Like if you play, no matter who you are, no matter what background you're from, you can always feel like you're Master Chief. And now he's going to have an identity. Like I don't know, man. Like I don't know if you why I don't know if you have to do this. Why do you have to like unveil? It's the same thing people are worried about in the Mario movie where Mario's going to talk, right? And people are going to be like, listen, this is going to be weird and he's going to have actual dialogue and he's not just going to be like,
And it's
woohoo,
going to be voiced by Chris
yeah.
Pratt.
Yeah, which also doesn't, which is just going to be strange. And it's like, man, to give him an actual face when for 20 years people have just been like, yeah, that's my guy. He's me. I'm him. He's me. That's how it works.
I mean, this is the thing that Stan Lee said about Spider-Man. Spider-Man, the idea that they gave him a suit that covered his whole body, including his face, everything. You couldn't see a thing. The fortunate thing that they did behind that, which wasn't done on purpose, but it's great that they've done it because it's given the magic to the kids that no matter who you are, what color, what race, where you're from, do you have facial disfigurements? It's just all these kinds of different things. As soon as you put that mask on, you are Spider-Man. So that's the kind of thing they're then taking away from Master Chief. As soon as that guy lifts his thing up and it's no longer, I can be 117, it's like, oh, great, I've got to go and have my hair done like this. So it's taking it away from people with no hair.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
You're not salty at all. Don't worry.
Oh no, I love being bald and shiny.
So yeah, I don't know. There's not much more you can say about that, but it is an interesting turn of events. I'm surprised they're gonna do it. I think you could run the series without having to do it, but
Yeah.
it might be weird at times to be like, why is he still in uniform? He could totally get out of uniform now. So yeah, I get it.
But he can't because the premise is that he never takes that off. He is the power armor.
Yeah. I don't know. Strange stuff to me. So that is Halo Live, the Halo Live action movie. What do we got? Anything? What do we got in the chat here? Ebby still's like chatting it up, man.
I think he's just pitching on the what position the Nintendo dads are on the server. So they are 11 and 14.
Yeah, they were 9 before I boosted them to. I mean, I'm not saying I'm awesome or anything. I'm just saying that's what I did.
I think
At
I've done
least
it twice as well.
at
So.
least for 3 months, because then I'm not gonna be paying for it. So I'll be real legit honest here. Uh,
I don't think they lose those boosts. I think once they've got those boosts, they don't disappear if you stop paying because they've already had that.
are you sure? That seems too easy. That
No, I think that's
seems
right.
okay. All right, I have no idea. I'll go along with you. That's fine with me. All right. So next on our deal. What do we think about game shops closing? Listen, I don't want to get too far. I don't want to get too far in the weeds here. Okay, ban that ham bone Johnny. I tell you, get him out of here.
No, because
He's
I'm
talking about shiny.
shiny.
He's talking about shiny Sean. we caught a
Whenever somebody
shiny
says,
Sean. That's what we did.
yeah. Every time somebody says like, "Oh, your head's really shiny," I literally start singing "Because I'm Shiny" from Moana.
Hambone's talking about Sean being shiny. Um,
Yeah.
so
Downlights, man, they don't do anything for you.
yeah, no, they did not. Yeah, no, that's true. So what do we think about game shops closing? We could get really deep in here. I mean, there's been a lot of conversation. I will say, I was shocked. I was listening to NVC, and I was like, somebody on NVC, and I don't remember who, said, "Well, they should just keep it open because it's a service to gamers." And I thought, you really don't understand how this works, do you? Like, do you think they're there to service just you? Like, that's the deal. Like, they don't care if they take a hit on their cash or not. I don't know. I thought this was weird. I also think it's very interesting that as Nintendo is closing eShops and all that jazz, you have Xbox over here that's like, "Hey, listen, we have a back compat sale going on, and we just made another 50 games backwards compatible." Like, the two are chatting on like different levels and different
Yeah.
things, and I think it's about their business. But anyways, I've talked too much. What do you think, Sean?
Um, Game shops closing, I will cry. I mean, for me, I cry. We lost like Blockbuster, choices when that happened. When like being able to go onto the main street and sell it, and kind of pick up and be able to rent a game disappeared. Or a movie, in that fact, disappeared. I was genuinely distraught. And then we we don't have there isn't the nearest game shop for me is a 40-minute drive in any direction. So like the nearest city's been York, um, you know, Pontefract or Doncaster. I am in the middle of nowhere, but 40 minutes away from everything all the time. So if I have to go to a game shop, I have to drive a good distance, which is a pain in the ass when it comes to pre-ordering stuff. But we had a game shop in Selby for a little bit, and it was fucking nice because I could literally, it's like a 5-minute walk from my house. I could go to it, I could pre-order my games. I got a really good rapport with the guys that work there because a lot of them I went to school with. So like I used to go in and like, especially the Animal Crossing era when they were still around. I used to go in and they were like, "Oh, hey, yeah, we listened to your show and it's really cool. Thanks for mentioning the shop." And it's like, "Yeah, no worries." It's like this is where I buy all my games from. So, and then like 6 months later, it shut down. I was like, "Great." But yeah, I mean, the only game shop really we have in the UK that I use is Game UK. Other than that, it's buying the stuff from supermarkets, which
Sure.
you don't get the pre-order deals. You don't get that
Yeah.
whole "this is I'm going to the store," and which I go to because it's a hobby I have.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it,
That's
it, they can't close them all. Plus, like, there's games I want to buy physical because I like to own, like all the Mario games. I like to have all the Mario games in physical copy. I don't like to have them digital because it's nostalgia. As a kid, I opened Mario games. I used to put them in the console. I still do that now. I don't put I don't put the carts for the Nintendo's games in like a little holder unless like Metroid Dread's in a tiny little like sleeve I've got with loads of little carts. But like all the Mario ones, I put them back in the case because I like to see the cover art. I like to open them up, and 9 times out of 10, like they had really nice internal sleeves, and so I don't want to lose that physical handling of a game when I go to buy it. So losing that, the shops selling them and I'm having to buy them from like Amazon and hope that they, you know,
Yeah,
deliver
yeah,
on
I get it.
time.
Also, I'm just gonna be real. I was sitting here thinking, do I tell him that we're talking about two different things or not? I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna tell you because we've been podcasting too long. I'm talking about Nintendo closing eShops, digital shops.
Ah,
You're
what?
talking about Sean. You're talking about physical shops, which both are closing. To be fair, which both are closing. But
Ah.
so yeah,
But yeah,
so
well, no, no, well, Nintendo were always going to close their eShop. Everybody knew that. As soon as the 3DS died off, but what was the point in them having an eShop? I mean,
yeah.
it's a shit move for the indie developers, but Nintendo isn't the place for indies. Let's go to Game Pass.
Oh, yeah, I agree, and yeah, I'm totally with you that it doesn't make sense. They were gonna close it. That was gonna be what they did. Um, and the argument is, well, they don't give us any other way to play these games, so so they need to. They if they're not gonna let us play them this way, then they need to let us play them some way, which is really interesting. I don't know many other companies that are held to that standard, right? So it's just like, listen, you brought this product out and then you took it away. Like, it's like the Oreos. Like, listen, you need to Oreo company needs to always give us access to every flavor of Oreo at all times because that's what we deserve. No, they don't. They can make Oreos
Yeah.
and take them away. It doesn't matter.
Did,
It's okay.
did you see the video, the SpongeBob video that Marty shared in the lobby on Discord?
And
Did you actually watch
I
that?
didn't watch it. No, I saw him share something, but I didn't see it.
It covers this subject brilliantly, and the voice acting it is fantastic. It's so funny. But yeah, uh, closing the eShop for the backlog of games I can understand because that's difficult to keep going all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But to close like shops that for new stuff, not so much, especially when you've got people going digital only. Like, the Series S is digital only. There's rumors of a digital only PS5 coming, which, from listening to what one of the dads after dark were talking about, they kind of need to do digital because that thing's going to rattle itself to pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally true. I just think you can. I get the complaint. I also think that I was listening to the Nintendo dads. I think Tim's deal is pretty interesting. Of like, well, for posterity's sake, saving these games so other people have the chance to play them. I think it's interesting. Tim says, well, they are still there, available to play, or available for posterity's sake. They're just not available to play for you. Like, Nintendo's keeping them safe. Don't worry, they're not deleted. You just can't play them, which is an interesting take. I'm sure it's not helpful to any gamer whatsoever, but it is an interesting take of like, listen, it's still there. Just like with Oreo. Oreo didn't get rid of the recipe on how to make, cucumber Oreos. They're just not selling them anymore. I just made that up. I don't know. I couldn't think of one. They're just not selling them anymore. And that's their right to not sell them anymore. They don't have to. Like, that's how it works. You get some stuff, you don't.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it's there, I guess. I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic. I also think we have some interesting conversations. Ebicel's not wrong. Microsoft's working with back compat right now, partially because they had a failure of a generation with the one, and then they started to look back and say, how can we
Just a little
solve
bit.
this problem? So sure, Ebicel isn't wrong, and Nintendo doesn't have that problem, and they're trying to actually roll their retro games
Wii
into
U.
their subscription. Well, they had that problem. They don't. Okay, they're somewhat true. The Wii U is further in their horizon. It's further away than the one is to Microsoft at the moment. They have a proven success now. But I think the other thing is they are taking their retro games and rolling it into their subscription, right? I mean, that's kind of their
Yeah.
shtick, and that's how they're making their money.
I'm honestly just waiting for Wind Waker to appear. That's the only game I want them to roll back to because it's the only Zelda I never really. It's the Zelda I started but never finished.
Oh wow, really? I love Wind
Majora's
Waker.
Mask
That's
is
my
one that I
favorite.
never started or finished. So
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, man, Wind Waker is like one of my favorites. Um, and that I'm shocked they haven't re-released that in some type of collection and gotten $60 for it. Really surprises me. So that's eShops. Nintendo's eShop is closing. If you want all the bits and bobs about it, you have the Dads After Dark and Nintendo Dads. They will give you all the dates and the times of when you can do what and where and why and when everything's closing. That's not our gig. So there you go. We have some news bulletins here. Valhalla, which Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which Hambone Johnny has 100%ed. That just, I mean,
Just hang on. We need to talk about this guy, this Hambone Johnny guy, who like is 100% in games left, right, and center. He just got the freaking bulletin board with the Dads After Dark for driving every road in Horizon 5. I mean, what an absolute, like nearly 600 different roads, 520 something.
Did you see it was like in November? Sean, he was like, hold on 1 second. Let me look back in. Oh, here it is. I did that in November. There. Have a nice day, Dads After Dark.
I know, I was like, I saw the bulletin and then literally like I thought, geez, that's going to take ages for someone to do. So maybe I could like do that in my spare time now I've finished a game and do that. And then like literally like looked again later on today and I was like, fuck you.
But we love you, Hambone Johnny. We really do. But F you.
We do.
It's so
great guy. And you know, I know how much he plays Xbox because while I've been like playing Dying Light till the dying hours of the middle of the morning, I've seen him popping up. You know, Hambone Johnny's online. It's like, oh yeah.
That's good stuff. So, anyways, if you're interested in Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there's free play days starting February 24th to February 28th, and possibly if you just play nonstop, you can beat it. You know, you just play for 24 hours for 4 days. Boom, you're done. You got it. That's the end of it. You don't even have to buy it. Avowed, Obsidian's new RPG. I'm not real sure if I'm interested in this, but it is targeted to release early 2023. So won't be seeing that anytime soon, which is good. I didn't choose it in the video game league. I had thought possibly it would be a late game to choose to pick up there, and I
see when I hear RPG, most people go like role playing game. I go really pointless game because it's just something I won't play.
Wow.
I struggle so bad with like RPGs that are especially turn-based ones, but then I struggle with RPGs in general. It's like if somebody says to me, "Oh yeah, try this." If somebody said to me, "Play Dying Light," when it originally came out, it's a role, it's an RPG. You'll really like it. But I don't.
Wow. So you're out on role-playing games and you're out on roguelites. That's like 85% of the Switch's library.
Yeah, pretty much. But then if somebody says like, because Zelda, you could base Zelda has been a role-playing game, open world RPG where you play Link. You know, he's out there being the hero. If somebody had like, you've kind of got to give it a bit more than just RPG because,
yeah, no, it's true.
You've got to turn around and say to me, "This is a turn-based RPG," and then I'm definitely sold. If you say this is a first-person or third-person open world RPG where there's no turn-based and it's like freedom of battle, then I'm a bit more like, you kind of got me there.
I was in the dinner table where they chatted about what an RPG was, and I don't think I said a word in that entire podcast. My brain just melted as they were like going back and forth. I mean, very civil, but they were just like going back and forth about like what it might be and what it is, and I was just like, I have no idea. I am just like, I'm totally blown away. I don't know.
I'm going to go get you some orange sherbet.
Yeah, it's just like I have no idea. So that is our news bulletin for this week, folks. We appreciate everybody who participates and listens. We are into Acquisition Watch. That's right. We have made it a damn segment. Why did we do this, Sean? I feel like I need a sound. I feel like I need a sound bumper for it. I should make one. Acquisition Watch. This one's a tough one to swallow, and it's gonna piss off a bunch of people. Like that's just like, like let me just say that right now before we get too involved. If you don't like Bobby Kotick, This is gonna piss
Who
you off.
does? Who does?
Yeah. Who's a big fan? If you're not a big Bobby Kotick fan, because there's so many of you out there, this is really gonna piss you off.
I don't
Um,
even think Bobby's a fan of Bobby. So
Bobby's swimming in all his money, so don't worry. I think he's a pretty big fan of himself, unfortunately. Um, so Microsoft had to file the beginnings had to do their first SEC filings for the beginning of their potential, more than likely, Activision acquisition. And in that filing, we learned a couple of things. Well, we learned a lot of stuff. But in terms of Bobby Kotick, we learned that even if they fire him without cause right now, he gets a 15. They can't fire him right now, but when they take over, when they acquire Activision, he will get a $15 million golden parachute.
yeah. Basically, they'll say to him, "Here, take gardening leave. Here's 15 million to tide you over while you're on gardening leave, and you can look for work elsewhere. We're not going to stop you doing that. Bye now." Slap his ass on the way out and call him shit.
Well, hopefully they won't do that. There's, that's it's kind of what got Activision here. So hopefully there won't be any of that, Sean. Come on, jeez, he'll be part of that.
That was a joke about
that. he has an option or a possibility. This is ridiculous. Microsoft and Activision proposed that Kotick could receive as much as $22 million in stock in July or later if the Activision board sees improvement in company culture. Okay, all right, that makes sense.
So basically, he has to stop touching female employees.
No,
and he can get 22 million.
No, this is from Axios. Listen to this. This is ridiculous. So what does he have to do this? He has to do measured improvements, which include implementing a zero tolerance plan, a zero tolerance harassment plan. Implementing. That's all we're talking about here. And Kotick, he took a pay cut. And where was? I thought there was one other thing. Is that really all he has to do?
No. He needs to do measured improvements, which would include the implementation of a zero tolerance harassment plan and an increase in hiring women and non-binary people.
I mean, those are good. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's like I don't know if I can say this. Can I say this? I can probably say this. If this ever comes back to me, then yeah. In the UK, where I once went for a job as a part-time fireman, and I sat down and they kind of joked at the table. They were like, "When we saw your name, we were kind of hoping we see everybody's name that they come in. You're going to be gay or black because we'd hire you instantly because we've got a really we need more of that clientele in the services at the moment." And it's like, that shouldn't be a plan. That should not be part of this 22 million. It's disgusting that he has to hire more women and more non-binary people. It sounds like Activision have already discriminated against those people. Yeah. So to put that down on paper is fucking disgusting.
Yeah, they should just, it should just be a thing. We shouldn't need to, talk about it. It should just be obvious. I don't know. Anyways, other interesting bits of news. This is actually, I found this very interesting. 4 other companies approached or were approached by Activision about an acquisition, but it says little came of it. And then also, one unnamed individual made a sole play to acquire Blizzard. I would love to know who was just walked in the door and was like, "How much to buy you?" I would love to know who that was.
Elon Musk. Why not? He's got lots of money.
Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. It could have been.
And to answer Hambo and Johnny's question in the chat there, is Shiny a protected class? Yes, we are protected. That's why people go for us in Pokemon.
I think that about covers our acquisition watch. I don't want to get too crazy deep. Although where's the thing about about his amount of stock? I don't see that in here. I thought I read something about it being a crazy amount of number. I don't want to say it though.
He owns or has the right to acquire 6.5 million shares, which will be a net worth of 619 million at Microsoft's current price.
Yeah, for some reason I can't find it, but that's what why does he even care? Why does he even care? When he's gonna make $619 million, and he's gonna Get a
Yeah.
golden
That
parachute
well,
of 15 million.
he's not gonna make, is he? He's got his stock worth. His not his
Yeah,
net
yeah,
worth.
yeah,
His
yeah.
stock worth. His worth because he owns that much of an asset. So you know,
So when he
and that's
sells
it.
it, if
That
Microsoft kicks
no,
ass,
no.
it could be more than that.
That's yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. This is
Yeah,
now as like as it stands of close. So yeah, that's a lot of money.
that is a lot of money.
Almost a
Hey,
billion. A billion just for sounding off.
well, this is Acquisition Watch. There you go. We don't want to. We've been doing it so much that we made it a segment, but we'll try to always make it quick so that we don't get too deep into the craziness. But we also know that we are an Xbox show and we want to keep you up to date with what's going on with this acquisition, as it's a pretty big part of Microsoft and Xbox. But Sean, tell me about this game you finished.
Uh, so last week, I kind of said that I'd got to the epilogue stage of Dying Light 2. And I thought I'd best get this game finished before I kind of put it to rest. Because this is the thing I do with games. I get to the last bit and I'm like, yeah, I'm done now. I never actually finish it. Like Skyward Sword, didn't finish. Luigi's Mansion, didn't finish because I kind of got to the end boss and was like, no, I'm okay. Something else needs my attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I played Dying Light 2 again, like for a little bit through the week, in places where I should have been probably playing stuff on Game Pass, but there hasn't really been anything that's caught my attention. So
Play what you
that's
want to
kind
play,
of
man.
exactly. So I thought, last night I kind of sat down. Lindsay had gone to bed early. She was really tired. I thought, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to go and I'm going to do the last mission. I finally went, and that was at like 9 p.m. I went to bed at 2 a.m.
Holy crap! It was a 5-hour mission.
Yes, that last section of the game was 5 hours long. 5 freaking hours long. And oh man, it was great. Very good. I got a good ending. I got what's been dubbed as the survivor ending. So not to give out too many spoilers, it means that a certain clan within the city now thrives and runs things. Certain people have died, which were bad for the city, and the main player left the city. So that's like all I can say. There is
Okay.
multiple endings. There is a better one than what I've got, which the people are classing as the secret ending because you have to do certain things at certain times when they give you the pathways of decisions and conversations. And they're difficult ones to choose from what I've read because the ones that I've chosen were ones that I felt like were right for the story at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the decisions that I made were what I felt right and felt morally correct. But then to get the secret one, there's a few decisions that you've got to make which don't feel morally correct at the time.
Gotcha.
And because I got invested in like people's backstories and stuff like that, like Loan and Hakon, which are two pretty big names in the game that you come across. I let Loan shoot Hakon in the head with a crossbow because she needed to. Right then, she really needed to. So I let her do it. There was a point where I could have stopped it, and it's kind of like you feel like she'd then be very upset with you in the game and probably make things difficult because she helps you out quite a lot. But yeah, that's one of the turning points. So,
Huh.
but I mean, the game. Other than the flaws that I've hit with it, which I'm still getting the daytime nighttime glitch. They haven't patched that out yet, but the graphical glitches that I would get, where there was just like lines coming off people everywhere, they've stopped now completely. The audio glitch seems to have stopped now. I'm not having as many issues with the audio crapping out. But I'm still getting the daytime nighttime stuff, which I'm using to my advantage when it's daytime at nighttime. I love it because I just let people run after me and chase me and stuff like that.
That's
but yeah, I
amazing.
finally finished it. 4 days and 5 hours. So what's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, nearly 100 hours. 100 hours worth of game.
Yeah, that's like not like 4 days. You didn't play it for 4 days, but you played it for 4 days straight.
Yeah.
Like 4 literal like days of gameplay.
Yeah.
That's
so no, like as in 24 hours. It's like 100 hours that game's taken.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant, but I don't think I said it right. So thanks for correcting me.
100. So, I mean, for how much I paid for it, I think I paid nothing because Lindsay bought it. So, but for what it costs, 60 quid. It's a fantastic game. So, yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad it turned out well because it was pretty rocky there in the beginning. I didn't know how that was gonna all go, but I'm glad it turned around. I mean, when you had beams of light shooting out of people's head, I was like, well, that's unfortunate. So, but how would you? One of my questions was for you after listening to it. How would you recommend people play this? Like, just play it the way you would make decisions and let your ending fall as may, or would you like tell people, hey, go look and see so you get the ending you want? Like, what would be your thought?
I I I'd say go and play it how you feel. Like play the game and listen to people's stories. You have the ability in each conversation that you have. You can skip it. You can skip through all the dialogue. People say, "Oh, this game's really heavy dialogue." It is, but you can skip through it. But take the time to read it. Take the time to feel the story because they did a really good job of building a good story here. And it's very, very good. So take the time to listen to the conversations, ask us extra questions if you want to get to know more. There's like when it pops up with the prompt where you can like either just respond and carry on the game quickly. That's usually in yellow, but then there's like lots of white questions that you can ask. Ask those questions. Really do invest yourself in the story and do what you feel. That's what all I've done, and I got the ending that I got, which I'm quite happy with the ending. I could go back. I could go back for the secret ending, but there's a lot of time. I could rush it and just said to say, "Oh, I got the secret ending," but I'm not about that. So what I am about is I am now about unlocking all the abilities, which I think I've got like 4 or 5 left. Collecting all the GRE inhibitors and completing all the facility tasks. I've unlocked all the windmills, stuff like that. So, and
Find a way
hey,
to
thank
look.
you, Mr. Hammer and Johnny. That is Ebusel, which is now a subscribe.
Congratulations, Ebucel, and thank you to Hambo and Johnny for making that happen. Wow, I was so intent on listening to you. Hambone, you can get me every time by doing that. Like, I mean, I was just like, "Whoa, that woke me up." Thanks, appreciate that. I appreciate not only the sub but being woke up. That's so. Yeah, that's awesome. So here's something I want to know. Well, okay, I sneaked a peek at your list. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, just now, and I was utterly. There's a game on here that I did not expect to see. Okay, I want to know about this game that I did not expect to see on this list. What's going on with this thing?
Which one? Which you mean Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, you're playing Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, yeah. I thought Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out at some point this year.
Wait, maybe you did
Hopefully.
mention this last week. Did you mention this last week? Maybe you
No,
did.
no, I didn't mention this.
Okay.
This has been a kind of off the cuff kind of thing to do.
Okay.
So I finished a really big game, and it's now got me into the sitting down and playing games for a long period of time again, which I haven't done since the Warzone era. Like I dip and dabble in Game Pass games. It's just the whole idea of Game Pass for me is that you can dip, you can dabble, you can find a game that you absolutely hate, you can find a game you absolutely love. We played I played Grounded a bit, not as much as you did, but I enjoyed it for the amount of time that I played it. Downhill, Lonely Mountains, what other game that I keep going back to? Spelunky that I keep jumping in and out of, stuff like that. So I found those kind of games that I can like just pick up and play. There isn't something solidly that I can spend my time playing. So I thought with Breath of the Wild 2 coming out later on this year, and Tim talking about it quite a bit in Discord that he hadn't actually finished it from his first play, I was like, I can't remember how this game went and played. I played it to completion to like within 6 months of it coming out. And then I played it again with all the DLC and finished all the DLC. I got all the extra equipment, the Master Sword, the Hyrulean, the Hyrulean shield and stuff like that. I did all that kind of stuff. I got all the hearts. I got all the stamina bars. I went and did all the shrines. I did everything. I literally killed the game to completion. And I think I got about 25% of the way through in the hard mode. But that path up to the Zara's domain in hard mode is just unreal. I did not want to face the I'm going with the questions. I didn't want to face the Centurion half man, half horse thing at the top of the hill because I can
I
remember
don't
how
blame
difficult that was.
you. Yeah, that thing is ridiculous.
But yeah,
I beat a
so
couple of them.
I kind of stopped and I was like, I'm not going to do that now. But I just I need something to kind of sit. It's like we sit and watch. We're watching a lot of Grey's Anatomy, and that's a program that you can like kind of sometimes take your brain out. It runs in the background. You can listen to the people's storylines and stuff. And there's been a couple of episodes that we watched this evening before the podcast. Lindsay Kerry, she was nodding off on me. And we were watching them. I was like, I could have been playing Zelda here because like this episode was a complete filler episode. So I could have 40 minutes of Zelda. I could have been doing. I could have got like 2% further through the game. So now that's what my brain's now thinking is like, okay, I'm going to play Zelda. I've got half an hour. The kids are in the shower, or the kids are in the bath, or they're eating the dinner, and it's quiet. So, yeah, if you're selling this right with McDreamy, it's one of the name of the character, so he's definitely a Grey fan.
Oh yeah, around over here, man. You knew McDreamy even if you didn't know Grey's Anatomy. Like, I mean, that was kind of the thing. For sure.
So yeah, I started that. I'm playing the game what I deem as the laid back correct way to play it. Like I hammered through it when I played it first time to roll credits, and then went back and did everything. So now like I got off the Great Plateau the right way. So I went and I cooked the steak and seafood like meal that the old guy, Zelda's dad, the king, cooked that for him. Then presented it to him.
Sean. Spoilers.
By this point, you should know. So I could get the warm doublet. So then I wasn't like trying to rush the snowy parts, and I'm using the abilities that I didn't realize I had. So like the shield surfing and stuff like that, which I didn't realize you could do until about nearly the end of the game when I played it first time, which is a really nice way of like descending from places. And I'm now going through all the memories. I'm doing all the memories. I'm going like and unlocking the towers, and I'm kind of like just playing the game how I finished it last time. I don't want to rush to the divine beast, so I'm just kind of yeah. But I'm also trying to see if I can finish it before Tim.
Okay, so here's my confession. This is hilarious. That when I saw that you were playing Breath of the Wild, it made me chuckle. It's on my list to play after Spiritfarer, so I don't know when that'll be because this game just keeps freaking people just keep needing crap. But so I made fun of Tim, and it was so I just like did it off the cuff because everybody was making fun of him, so I was like, blah, blah. And then I like left my phone, came back, and there was this thing with like Chris and a couple other people like, why are you making fun of him? And I was like, oh, the funny thing is I ain't never finished Breath of the Wild either. I've gotten 3 shrines, no, not 3 divine beasts in, and then I don't remember what happened. I just dropped it. I was like, this. I remember telling everybody this game is so good, like talking to the Duke and everything about like you have to play this game. It's so good, and then I just like dropped it and walked away from it. I had a couple of friends that were playing it, and they were like, "Are you still playing?" I was like, "Oh no, I stopped playing that game." And they were like, "Did you beat it?" And I was like, "No, I just stopped playing." So it's like on my list, but man, I don't know if I'll ever be able to remember how everything works because I am not starting from the beginning. Ain't happening. You like John people out there, you and John that are like, I'm gonna start from the beginning and just beat this again. No, that's not happening.
I full on like wiped my save.
No way.
Literally like overwrite, started all that time, effort, like nearly 200 and odd hours of Zelda. Gone.
Here's what I'll tell you. If when I get to my Switch, my save is still not there for some odd reason, like something happens, blah, 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 whatever, I'm done. I'm never going to beat Breath of the Wild. I'm not playing that game from scratch. Not happening. Nope.
You see, I don't know. I wanted to kind of get the story back in my head before the next one comes out because, that's, again, once that comes out, and I want to be in the way of playing a game for that long before that comes out, because I know for a fact that Game Pass and Xbox, when a Zelda or Mario come out, they always kind of drop off the face of the earth for a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So, well, that's cool. Anything else you've been playing?
Yeah, after the last week's podcast, I gave The Last Kids on Earth and the Staff of Doom a go because you said, watch the video and it looked like crap. I was like,
Yeah, that
uh,
wasn't very fair. I agree.
no, it was a fair analogy. Look, the game is crap.
No, but I should have
If
at
you
least
like,
played it before I said it was crap.
it's a good kids game. Like I can imagine if you
What did you
let
call it?
Noah
What'd you call it in Discord? A teens or a kids? What?
kids version of Left 4 Dead. Basically,
That's it.
it is a 4-player cooperative top-down 2D open worldy style game where you run around and it's just a hack and slash. You can bash buttons, smash zombies. There's no blood, there's no gore, there's no horror to it. Um, it's good. There's a way of there's a crafting element to it where you've got to craft different weapons and armor and upgrades. There's a tower defense version of it where like every now and then you've got to defend the treehouse by building like cannons and stuff like that, and at the same time defeating waves of zombies that are attacking the treehouse. So it's good. It's good in that sense. It's just not for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's well done. I mean, the game looks nice. I didn't get stuck in any graphics. The dialogue to it is funny. It's witty, so it's aimed. There's jokes in there that adults will get, but there's also jokes in there that kids will find funny and stuff that might go over their head. And so yeah, I feel like Noah's age up is good. I'd happily let Emily play this, and she's 10. So yeah. And then the other game I did have on my list was Resident Evil: The Village, but I turned on the Xbox and it kind of told me that I needed to do an update of 30 gig, and that wasn't going to happen to me before we started podcasting. So
Awesome. Abby still just asked me which one I have left. Um, I've done the Goron one. I've done the Chick in the Desert, and I've done Zora. So
yeah,
I don't
so
know which
you
one's
have
left. Those are the three I've done though.
you have the bird one left. So you have the flying one left.
Yeah, I have the one that John was like, when John was redoing it, he was like, "Yeah, you should start with the bird one. That one makes it easiest." And I was like, "Well, me, I didn't start. That's the only one I haven't done."
That's where I'm heading first because yes, it makes it easier because it's easier to get to places, but that is my most favorite one to finish to do. My least favorite one to do is fucking one in the desert because I hate trying to dress up as a woman. That bored the crap out of me. It was a good twist, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll peel off a Spiritfarer and see if I can power through this last guy. Just finish. Maybe that'll be my next game that I totally finish. I'm stuck on a camel. Well, that'd be so. I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm slapping in the butt. I don't know. Maybe that'll get you going. I don't know what you do. I love you guys, by the way. Having chat when we do podcasts has made podcasting so much fun. I'm stuck on a camel, says Ambiso. All right. So, anything else, man?
No, that's all I've been playing. Uh, yeah, I don't know. You could class Mario Kart in there. I took Logan to the arcade today, like the
Ooh, you
nearest
played the
arcade to us.
arcade Mario Kart?
Yeah, Mario
Fun.
Kart, like DX, I think it was
Mm-hmm.
called.
Yeah.
The one where you could play as Pac-Man.
Yes.
We had a couple of goes on that. It was fun. He enjoyed it because they do this really cool thing where if the pedal isn't pressed within the first like couple of seconds of the race, it does all the driving for you other than the steering wheel. So he got to like steer it. He was really happy. He was absolutely
That's cool.
psyched that he could be Pac-Man. So
That's awesome. Very cool.
yeah.
I have been playing 3 games. Still playing Spiritfarer, as I alluded to. That game. I'm gonna be right about this. That game irritates the out of me at this point. It's too fetch questy. It's just like, go do this. I need that. Go do this. Build me this. And so it's like, oh my gosh, it wasn't too bad for a while, but it's getting a little much for me. So, we'll see. But again, I paid for it, so I might hate play it to the end. I beat Banjo and Kazooie. Me and the kids beat Banjo Kazooie. To be honest, we helped each other through this because I played it. The camera irritated me. I was like, I'm not gonna beat it. And then the kids were like, I'm not gonna play it anymore. And then the kids were like, No, Dad, play it with us, please. And I was like, okay, fine. And so we started to play it. And then I kind of got into it. And then we were like 3/4 of the way through, and my son was like, I don't want to play this anymore. Let's play something else. I was like, no. Now you've got me invested. Like I'm too far in to not beat this now. So we're beating this game. And I'm glad I did. It was fun. I don't believe I'm old enough at this point that sometimes I play a game and I'm like, I may beat that. I don't freaking know. Like I'm just I'm that I might have beat that when I was a kid. I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I don't believe I have. And then lastly, I finally have been talking about it for a while doing it, and it slipped past me in Game Pass, and I went back to it this week and played some Hitman 3. I looked it up. I have played Hitman 2 is the game that I had played, and I believe it's on the Game Pass, or on GameCube, excuse me. I can only say the word Game Pass. And so, man, this game is as fun as I remember it. It's a little more... It's definitely got a little bit more to it, Hitman 3 does, where it's like you used to just be able to like grab a different uniform and everybody would forget who you are. And now it doesn't quite work that way. Like they're a little more they're more smart than that, but it's still hilarious. I have just been playing it in like a really I don't want to get everything. So when you go into the world, there's like you have two obvious missions, objectives, and then they just keep the more people you talk to, they just keep adding more stuff on, like new side missions that you can do to get more experience points, to more stuff that you can get, new information you can find, blah 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 blah. And I was really like, no, I'm here just to have fun and like see how stealthy or how unstealthy that I can kill these guys. I mean, like,
I couldn't. They made me chuckle. Me and Lindsay went for a meal on Friday night and then stopped at a hotel because I kind of like wanted to celebrate her coming out of isolation.
Yeah.
And I can remember as we were getting we got the taxi back to the hotel, and I was reading your message about having 4 different guys in a chest freezer at once, and I was chuckling. Liz was like, "What's making you laugh?" I showed her the message, and she's like, "That's not the weirdest thing you've ever showed me from you guys."
Yeah, like, that's actually true. Yeah, no, it was so funny. I'm like, I threw a guy in there, and then I went to throw the 4th guy in there, and he's like, how many guys do you think I can fit in here? And he just like throws it on the ground. I'm like, apparently 3. Apparently 3's the limit. Okay, I'll find another place to throw this guy. I mean, but yeah, and that's like the great part. I saved a video clip that I haven't put on Twitter yet, but I want to. I'm like, I'm all stealthy. I take this guy, I kill him, I turn around, and there's like 3 guards just looking at me, and I'm like, crap. Okay, so that game made me laugh when I played it the first time, and it's still exactly as gold as it was as I remember it. So not very often does that happen, and I'm still loving that game. I beat Dubai completely. Well, not completely. I beat the objectives in Dubai, and I did it the shittiest way possible. Like, I gave this guy some poison. He ran to the bathroom. I stabbed him in the neck. Everybody was around me at that point. I thought I was all like awesome and stealthy, but I wasn't. I stabbed him. Like 3 people walked in, and I just like ran as fast as I could out the door and started to run down the stairs to get where I needed to go. Some guy got in my way. He's like, hey bud, what's going on? I'm just like, I just shot him and kept walking. I mean, I'm as unstealthy as it gets. But that game's still like the stories you have of that game, they're still there. That game is gold. That's everything though. That is my list of games for this week. We'll see if I peel off a Spirit Fair and hop onto Breath of the Wild. I'm feeling I might do that. Just gonna let you know.
Just a quick hello to Ninfrendo, dropping in the chat. So, good evening. Nice of you to join us.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you being here. We really, really do. Breaking news. Why is the PC getting all the stuff lately, man? What's up with that?
No, I saw this video. I was scrolling through YouTube earlier, and I was like, oh, I wonder if there's anything cool, like, Xbox or Game Pass have dropped, or Colin Furs, who I really like to follow on YouTube. Because he's not done anything for a while. And then like I saw this video for RoboQuest, and I was like, this looks really good. This is amazing. And then like I read the title again of PC, and I was like, well, That's just not fair.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be honest. I sometimes have a blind spot for PC. I missed it because I look on my phone and you have to choose console or PC for Game Pass stuff. So I actually didn't know this was coming out until it dropped, and I was like, wait, what is this? Why did it? I don't know. I didn't know this was coming, and so I looked. I was like, oh, it's PC only. That's why. So there you go.
Yep.
In 2 days, though, by the time if you're a podcast listener, it's already out. Galactic Civilizations 3, and a game I really want to try just because our community talked about it a lot. Super Mega Baseball. Talked about this game a ton being a really good game that is either on the Switch or could be on the Switch. Man, I can't remember. But either way, I definitely want to play this game and see what I think about it. Now I'm looking it up.
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to try and find something to play on Game Pass that's a back catalog to talk about, because there hasn't really been anything that's interested me, caught my attention for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. So,
are you a Psychonauts 2 fan? SMB3 is on Switch. Thanks, Sambo. Appreciate it.
I played it until the hospital level, and then
not very far.
Not very far. And then I just kind of stopped. It was, I don't know if it was the game mechanics or if it was just like listening to yourself and the Dads After Dark guys talk about how long the game was for what it was. I didn't want to give it that amount of time. So
That's fair. I haven't finished it yet either. It's on my list of games that I really want to finish. So actually, and you are right though. I was looking through the list and I was like, okay. I don't know. There's not a ton here right now for me, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Which is funny because John was kind of talking about that in his like switch to PlayStation. He was like, I was looking over the thing. There wasn't a lot left that I wanted to play. And I don't think it's always going to be this way. There will be some more stuff that comes up for me, some more indie stuff. I'm interested in Far Lone Sales 2, whatever it's called. I can't remember. The second version of Far Lone Sales.
Yeah.
The game I beat that I didn't like. I'm still going to play the second version.
Far changing tides. Wow, why is it so hard?
Yeah, there you go. The second version of Far Lone Sales. So there's definitely some stuff coming up that I'm interested in. So yeah, I'll have to be on the lookout for that stuff. But hey,
and Hambo's been said about Infernax. Yeah, I've heard some stuff about that as well. But then when I looked at it, just the game, the graphics and the way the game looks like it plays just doesn't hit me. So especially coming out and playing Dying Light 2, I kind of want something that looks quite graphically like interesting to play, because going from almost realistic world to 8-bit kind of, it's not gonna go very well.
Yeah, and we talked about this last episode. 8-bit stuff is just not my. It's just I'm good with 16. The very few of the 8-bit looking stuff is my stuff. So, but yeah, so. But it is out there. It looks like a really cool, gory deal. Oh yeah.
Oh, Mass Effect.
Hambone brings up Mass Effect. We also like, oh yeah, there's a time sink. What do you think about? Have you played it?
I always get these.
Wait. No. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Dead Space.
Have you beat it? I'm sorry. Let me ask that question. Not have you played it. Have you beat it?
I don't think I've ever played it. I've played Dead Space, which is when people say Mass Effect, I always get the two mixed up. I've never played Mass Effect, so it's something I could go and try, I suppose. I've got that bug for games that take a while and look quite nice to play.
Yeah, not a bad choice, Hambone. Thanks. Party chat.
Excuse me.
What do you want to go through our questions, or do you want me to do it?
So I could do it. I can take we'll take it in turn. I'll take Tim. I'll speak Tim's, and then we'll take it in turns because we're nice.
I like
it. So Tim, he's kind of pointed it at me. Have you ever, or would you ever buy a game that you know you cannot play right now, but buy it for the backlog because you want to play eventually? If so, do you have an example? If no, why not? I can answer this question, and I can answer it quite honestly with yes. And I bought it recently. I bought Riders Republic because it was a very good price. It was cheap. It was in the sale. I wanted to play it for a while, but didn't want to splash out. But then also knew that I had games like Halo to play at the time, Forza Horizon 5. We had stuff coming out in January that we were excited about. And then, February we had Dying Light drop. So I bought Riders Republic before Christmas. I think I actually bought it the day after my birthday or on my birthday. Knowing that I wouldn't be able to give it the full beans that it needs because it is a big game. It does need a lot of information. So yeah, that's my example. I will do that. If a game I know I want to play and I see it at a decent price and I think I can't play, I haven't got the time to play right now, I will purchase it and just let it sit and come back to it as and when.
You hit the nail on the head for me. The only time I will ever buy a game that I'm not going to play, or I don't have at least intentions to play right now, is if it's just a really good deal. And I really thought about pulling the trigger on a Valhalla, but even Valhalla was so many hours. I didn't foresee me playing it, even at the amazing price that it was in the holiday sale. I still was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna get to it. Why spend the time? I will say the first time I believe the first time I ever wrote in to the Nintendo Dads podcast was they were talking about some game, some indie game. And everybody was like, "Oh, you need to buy this. Even if you don't think you're going to play it, or if you like it and maybe, you just need to buy it to support the developer so they'll make more games. You just need to." And I was like, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you want me to buy a game to support a developer that I'm not going to, I mean, I was like, and so I wrote in like, no, I don't think this is how you do. I don't think this is how you do this. You don't buy a game just to support a developer, in my humble opinion. So I really never ever do that. Like, that's just, if I'm gonna support a developer, I'm gonna play the game, I'm gonna buy it, and that's just what I'm gonna do. If I'm not gonna play it, that's just, I don't understand that logic. It doesn't make sense to me. So yeah. So I'll say that. But if it's a really really good deal and in the very short horizon I see myself getting to it, then I'll pull the trigger.
Yeah. I mean, when I bought Riders Republic, it was a £60 game that I got for £20. So it's £40 off. That's quite a good saving.
Mm-hmm. Chicken Wiggle, yeah, yeah. It was. I don't know if it was, but that would make sense, Ebuso. Maybe it was Chicken Wiggle they were talking about. Hambone Johnny, over in Nintendo Land, we're always speculating on when the next Nintendo Direct will happen. Outside of E3, does Xbox make any game announcements or presentations in a similar manner? We know a roadmap for most of the year for Nintendo, but I have no idea what's coming to Xbox outside of Starfield. With so many developers and IPs in house for Microsoft now, do you think we'll see a change in how they message to consumers in the future? He has another question too, but we'll stop there for now.
Yeah. What was it we had? I can't remember what we had last year that we did a live coverage of.
It was their 20-year anniversary. Was one of them. They
Yeah,
also had an Xbox showcase once. That's what they called
that's
their
the
thing.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they do. They have that, and I think that outside of E3 is what we're going to see this year. We're going to see like maybe late June, early July, or even late July, depending on what happens around E3. We're going to see an Xbox showcase, which they're going to, map out the rest of like the 12 months from there going forward. We're going to get news about Starfield, hopefully news around Fable, which would be nice. So yeah, I think they have a lot going on at the moment. So Xbox play things a little bit close to the chest, but they also kind of keep an eye on their YouTube and Twitter pages because they do a lot of dropping information there. So
It's got to be tough. I mean, I'm just, it's got to be tough when you're a house of developers that's as large as theirs is. Everybody's got their own PR staff, their own decisions that they're making on when they're going to do something. I'm sure that some of that stuff has to be run up the flagpole to Xbox itself. How are they going to handle that? When do they just do? Does Bethesda just get to decide when a Starfield trailer drops? I mean, they've been dropping these small little like hints of what the world's gonna look like. Like, do they just get to decide that, or is that Xbox that says green lights it and say go? Um, Man, that has got to make the road mapping really tough, not only for Xbox but also for their developers that are in house, which is like a bazillion at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, I don't have a grand I don't have a grand idea for what's coming out within Xbox in 2022, to be honest.
No,
I just don't.
it's an interesting one because they haven't given us a great deal. You know, we went from doing a podcast about Animal Crossing, and where Nintendo kind of played their information pretty low to close to the chest and didn't reveal anything, to doing, an Xbox based podcast, and we're seeing a similar kind of behavior with the information. Unless they're doing a showcase themselves, or have a big franchise to drop like Halo or Horizon 5, they play the cards close to the chest, and we give you the information we know when we know it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Stalker. Stalker was a big one that was supposed to be out this spring. Just pushed. Like in the next month, got pushed. Yep, pushed to December. Elden Ring is Friday. For all you Elden Ring fans out there, Friday you get to enjoy that game. I'm very excited for you. Not my cup of tea, really, but I'm excited for all you folks who are. Plague Tale Requiem. Hellblade 2 is coming real soon, or not real soon, but it's supposed to be coming this year. That's the thing. Like, that's what Xbox does. They give a lot of like this year, They don't lock it down.
Fall.
Yeah. So
holidays. That's all they ever mention. They never give you solid dates. And then when they do give you solid dates, it's not always guaranteed.
Yeah, I really would love to know more about though how those PR teams all work together. How does Xbox and all those developer PR teams work in tandem with each other, and do they? Yeah, and I mean, I'm assuming they have to in some way work together.
See, if I knew who to contact, or we could just start firing emails randomly at Xbox, be like, can we have somebody on that can kind of give us this information? And just
I'm sure we would get the email. We would either get an automated no, or we would get no answer. An automated no would actually be super surprising to me. We'd probably get absolutely no answer. Who the hell are you, and why are you named after our main product? Now we're gonna sue you. That's what we probably get.
Is that a door we want to open? Like Pandora's box. Who wants to open Pandora's?
Yeah, exactly. Evistel mentions that they are closing the Bethesda launcher. I don't even really know much about this, to be honest. I'm not going to try to act like I have a ton of knowledge. I think they're moving it to Steam, is what I read on a Twitter feed. 160 character deal. That's about all I've seen on it. And then also Nintendo brings up the Capcom countdown. We did miss the boat on that one. Street Fighter 6. That was a long countdown for Street Fighter 6.
Yeah,
if you ask me.
7 days. I think it started out. And with other than them giving us more news like summer 2022, there's not really a lot else to kind of say on that. It looks good. I mean, the pictures that they stuck on there with Ken and Ryu and stuff like that, the characters look very smart. So they're finally bringing Street Fighter into the next gen, which is interesting. I'd definitely give it a go.
My favorite, these are just like little snips and snarky things. My favorite meme about this was they took the 6 from the Street Fighter and they put a red blotch on it, so it literally looks like an iPhone, like you have 6 notifications. Like they did a really good They did a really good job. Also, I heard that you can have that same you can have that same logo if you want to pay $80 to Adobe. It's an Adobe Acrobat special design that you can pick for $80. So I thought that was fantastic. Sometimes you just get caught with your hand in the cookie jar. Uh,
Very sad. Very sad it wasn't something Resident Evil because I was hoping for an RE4 make. So
yeah, I mean, what would it? I mean, you just got Village though, like a year, like not even a year ago, maybe a year
yeah,
ago.
but still, give me some remakes. People love the remakes. So.
That's true. That's true. You can't. Yeah, they could have done some stuff on Switch that would have been. They could have brought Village to Switch on cloud. Man, that would have went over like crazy. Surprised they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The other part of the question that Hambo and Johnny has, and he always brings food related things into it, is
he's good that way.
crunchy or soft tacos. And I think that's off the back of last week's episode being called tacos and ice cream.
What do you think?
Um, I'm a soft taco. I like soft. Crunch is just they always fall apart and everything falls out. I like to be able to roll it a little bit and kind of burrito it.
Now I like a soft taco. I agree, but I don't know if you guys have this. You take the soft taco, you put some refried beans on it, and then you wrap it around a crunchy taco, and it's like, for no better way to explain this, it's like a taco condom. Okay. I don't know another way to explain it. It's like a taco condom and it tastes amazing. There you go. There's your.
I have never tried that.
You should try the taco. No, really, it's from Taco Bell. Because Taco Bell makes all things ridiculous. And I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's literally a soft taco, refried beans, hard taco, and then regular taco stuff in the middle. And it's really good. And I just named it a taco condom, but Taco Bell did not. They had another name for it that was more appetizing than that. Shocker, I know. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it. If anybody in chat remembers. But you move on. I'll
Used one. Nice.
Well, if it's got sour cream in the middle, you know what I mean?
That's just good.
I'm done. Keep going before I find more stuff to say that I shouldn't say.
Yeah, Hambo and Johnny's definitely hit that thing. Didn't think this question would lead to a taco combo. So yeah. The golden ticket for this week hasn't changed really that much. We've lost hydrophobia, and that has been replaced with aerial knights never yield, and that's running until March 15th. I had a quick look through these games, and today, well, like I was having Xbox related issues where for whatever reason it wouldn't connect to the internet. And there isn't any of them really that I'd download. So, let's keep waiting. For what's coming on the horizon, there's not really any new news, but the two that I'm excited for is I want to see what Nick thinks to the sequel to the game that he played, which he did enjoy because he didn't get much direction. And that's Far Changing Tides.
The game mechanics were great. It's just the story wasn't. There was no story. So I'm not gonna. I know I'm apparently the only one that has this same issue with stories that don't have stories, or games that don't tell you a real story. But whatever. But there was no story, so I'm gonna say I'm done.
And then the other one that I'm excited for, which isn't coming out until April, May time, 17th of May, which is 2 Point Campus. I liked 2 Point Hospital. It hit me back on the feels for Theme Hospital, which is a game I used to play on the PC with my mum. I used to love the fact that you could deflate people's heads. That was a thing. So yeah, 2 Point Campus. I'm quite looking forward to that, and that's like middle of May time. As for things that are leaving Game Pass, there isn't any change really. Titanfall's still disappearing, which is sad to see. But it is about time. They might drop Titanfall 2 on the EA Play because that was a sequel that didn't take off because it just wasn't as good as the first. So
yes, Ninfrendo, you are right. It is an auto runner. That is correct. I remember it being. I was trying to remember if it was an auto runner or an endless runner. I said one of them to the developer, or not I don't even know if it was to the developer, but I think it was just in Twitter, and I got corrected that it was the one I didn't say. So I think it's an auto runner, not an endless runner. That is correct. So you got it right. So yeah, and you got to try to watch the color for the obstacles. Make sure you press the right buttons when you get to the colors so that you can jump over whatever you need to or under whatever. So yeah.
Excellent.
I think that's a
Guys,
show. Is that a show?
that is a show. It's a show, and we didn't have to ban anyone, which is always nice.
That's true. You almost had to ban me. So, I mean, there is that.
But yeah, thanks very much, guys. Thanks everybody in the live chat. It always makes it interesting. Sometimes I know if you're a podcast listener, like me and Nick might stop and start sometimes, but that is generally because people will drop something in the live chat and we're kind of like, gives us a second. We're like, oh yeah, we can get that in the question section. So
yeah.
But no, we love it. I love the live chat aspect of it. It's definitely made you guys in the live chat definitely make doing a podcast more interesting. Makes it feel like we're sat in front of a live audience, which is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much on it? I would not ban you for.
No way, man. We're never banning you. All right. Send us out, Sean.
Cool. As always, the socials to find us is at Game Pass News. That's over on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. If you are one of the fellow lovely podcast listeners and you can give us some feedback, likes, comments within the app that you use, please feel free to do so. Gets us up there, gets us recognized. If you want to join in the Discord, see the silly memes that I keep making for me and Nick, or generally just jump in and chat with a lot of like-minded dads who'd love to game, let's head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. A little as $1 a month, or being a subscriber to our Twitch channel gets you in there automatically. Thanks to Hammer and Johnny, Ebicel, and Friendo for joining in, and a huge thanks to Hammer and Johnny for the subscription today. We hope to hear from you guys soon, and until next time, we'll see you later.
See you later, guys.